It's worth noting on this, the last day of July, that this is the last day I will spend on the treadmill and not see Tom Baker until very nearly Thanksgiving. Welcome to the Time Treadmill. I'm Ron, and these are my sweaty thoughts about Doctor Who. With the middle part of Planet of the Spiders concluded, that means that tomorrow's viewing will have the regeneration sequence into Tom Baker, and then it will be 7 years of his historic reign on Doctor Who. And the next time I watch an episode that does not include Tom Baker will be the second half of Castrovalva, which I should get to somewhere around the middle of November. How wild is that? But that's getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about Planet of the Spiders. There's some interesting casting in this that's not obvious. And the first one is the casting of Izan Churchman as the voice of Lupton's Eight-Legs spider. For reference, this planet has giant alien spiders that actually turn out not to be alien. They're Earth spiders that traveled to Metebelis 3, were mutated by giant blue crystals, and now are going to take over the Earth by some means harnessing the power of the blue crystals. In any case, it's a story about giant sentient spiders. And the first spider we meet is the one that travels through space and attaches herself to the back of one Mr. Lupton, who is a gangster type dude who's plotting to take over the Earth because what else are you going to do? And that spider, voiced by Izan Churchman, being the same woman who voiced Alpha Centauri in both Curse of Peladon and Monster of Peladon. And it's great to have her back. This story, her voice is very, very different. You wouldn't recognize it if you didn't know it. With Alpha Centauri, she deliberately went very high-pitched, very squeaky, and in this, it's much closer to her natural speaking voice. And that's cool to have her back, but that's not the most interesting spider voice casting. The other is the casting of Kismet Delgado as the voice of the Queen Spider. She was Roger Delgado's widow, and at the point this would film, he had only very recently passed away in a tragic accident. Now, it's worth noting that the story in this slot, the final story of the Third Doctor, was originally planned to be the final showdown between the Doctor and the Master. Roger Delgado wanted to leave the series, and he wanted the Master to be definitively defeated. He wanted to complete the role. And that was the plan all along, up until Delgado's tragic passing, at which point that entire story had to be tossed out and a new thing brought in, and that's how we arrived at Planet of the Spiders. Having his widow cast in a major role, granted in voice only, she's a giant eight-legged spider monster. It's actually, I think, a beautiful bit of casting and honoring the memory of Roger Delgado. And so bravo to Barry Letts for doing that. And so that brings us to tomorrow, the big day, the end of the Third Doctor's reign and the dawn of the most iconic period in the show's history. I'm really looking forward to it. I will see you tomorrow.